back to Champions. Your MVP for Game 1 is, of course, Ixu after one filthy Poppy game.
It doesn't show in the KDA, it doesn't show in the kill contribution, but the replays will show just how much work Ixu did. Now actually moves to 4th overall in the MVP rankings. This was the early dive that was very nicely executed after they'd won an early team fight. But watch what they do in this fight. You're always going to see Lucian and Lulu grouped together. We've seen so many times this duo in the history for SKT have carried games, but knocking them both out of the fight, allowing them to take down Duke in the front line. Ixu's work on Poppy compared to the frontline tank from Duke on the Nautilus for SKT was night and day.
Yeah, he ties Duke down MVP points, but does so much more than Duke in his last games. Consistently, multiple keepers and verdicts, just knocking out many members of SKT.
Tank 4 members, knock away 2 again, and then the wall
the
stun.
Double stun onto Bang in this fight he gets, and then this one being the one that gets the pick.
Getting the pick onto Bang, zoning out Faker. Faker in general, he's on Lulu, one of his trademark champions, and had a pretty poor game. Died in mid lane when he didn't need to. This is Samuel just going amazingly aggressive.
Really ballsy play by him. Just back to Champions, your MVP from Game 2, Duke, in the top lane on that Fiora, who had an absolutely phenomenal game. 7-1 and 6, 72% kill contribution, and just absolutely crushed Ixu.
Duke now. One top laner MVP, and then another. They seesaw around at the bottom of these top 5 rankings for MVP. Big story in this match was the lane swap.
Yeah.
Who got ahead and why? And the big thing for Afreeca was picking up the Dragons, which they eventually stacked towards 3 very early in the game, picking up the Rift Herald. But Duke was the recipient of so much free time while Afreeca were making these team plays, and Ixu found it so hard to find farm. And when you let a snowball laner, and again, it's Fiora Lulu as a duo, but Fiora in general as the ultimate duelist against any tank pick, irregardless of item build, this is the result, is that Duke could run wild in team fights. Ixu died under turret in this particular situation. This was off screen before to the Fiora, and this is why when you do go for these extended lane swaps where both top and bottom turrets go down, you can't really afford to go for those team objectives in the manner that Afreeca did, because then you end up with a snowball laner far too far ahead of his opponent.
Yeah, Song in here, that last-ditch effort trying to keep the team alive.
It's actually a polymorph. It looked like it was a riposte. It was actually just a polymorph from Faker. No auto attacks, no rend, and a team fight win for SKT, and thus the game.
Yeah, it was really solid stuff there. Welcome back to Champions, your MVP from that final game against Afreeca Freecs. No surprise, it's Faker playing a damn near perfect game, 11-0 and 8. Massive kill participation as well, just tearing up these team fights.
And fun to see the same champion 3 times in a series, but 3 different performances. His lane pressure just early, punishing Mickey for going for the ult for wave clear every time, and then this time picking up a gank, and then building up a lot of AP, a Lich Bane, and killing people everywhere around the map.
Yeah, just 1v1ing, 1v3ing. He didn't really care. Faker was just always at the forefront of these fights and just ripping through the HP bars of the members of the Afreeca Freecs. And like you said, really different performances in each one. Not so good, game 1. Game 2 is a little bit better. Had that clutch polymorph on the end onto the Callista to really keep them alive. And then in this last one, just going off on a tear and just ripping through the enemy team. Really solid stuff by Faker and very well deserved for his MVP.
And when we see a tank top, a Lulu mid, and an AD carry, we think about low damage. And that's often the case, but in games where the Lulu can get ahead, or games where the mid game is where the game is decided, Lulu certainly doesn't fall off. And this was just a great demonstration of how much damage